Have you ever seen a Mackem in Milan? Well, we're about to fucking find out, because that is where 4,000 Geordies are heading at the moment. Yes, Newcastle United, the day has finally come. Newcastle United are back in the Champions League, and we start off the group of death with a match against Milan in the San Siro in Italy in match day 1. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this game. It's a massive, massive stage to be able to return on. We all remember about the 2-2. Obviously previously, 2 decades ago now, obviously against Inter Milan at the time, but same venue, different side as we take on Milan this time. But there is a bit of an interconnection in there, because obviously at the weekend, Milan are coming off the back of an absolute arse kicking against Inter Milan. They lost 5-1, which is... it's absolutely unheard for. So you can be in two camps for whether this is a good thing for Newcastle United or a bad thing. It could be a good thing if confidence is down, if morale is down, if they're a little bit fragile, a little bit gentle, we get about them, take the lead. That is going to ramp the pressure up. Or there could be, look, they're going to be wanting to put in a bit of a performance, want to answer some of their critics, show to their fans that they are an absolutely fantastic side. And with the whole circus obviously around Tonali and everything else, the Botman thing, there's connections and them little sub-stories and subplots all over the place. They are going to surely want to put the record straight. So it's a massive, massive task for Newcastle United to be able to go over there and to get something. But I'm confident that we can do that. I personally think a point over there would be absolutely great. And, although it's the group of death, it's the group of opportunity. It's the group that I think everybody wanted. You want those names, you want the grounds, you want the atmospheres, and you want the experiences. And they don't come much better in world football than an opportunity to go over and to test yourself against AC Milan. So, what will be. I'm sure Eddie Howe and his coaching staff will have been meticulously planning for this. The players will be up for it. I can't help but think it's been a little bit of a distraction over the last couple of weeks for them, and that's probably contributed to why we've had a few iffy results, stroke performances ourselves. But yeah, imagine the scenes if we go over there and we get a draw, we get a victory. Unbelievable. Tonali sticks one in the top corner. It's going to be feisty. It's going to be great. And it's one of those historic occasions that you can't quite believe that we've been able to get back to. I remember these days from behind. I remember the Croatia Zagreb, the qualification, the Georgian Timuri Ketspire getting us qualified for the competition. I've seen these sort of things before, but goodness me, even a couple of years ago, in our wildest dreams, we couldn't have imagined that we'd ever been able to get back, certainly this soon, back into it. Not too long ago, only a few years ago, we were battling it out in the fucking championship, dogging it out in the championship. And now not only a promotion, not only a takeover, not only a cup final, but European adventures. And we're not slumming it. We're not doing a Liverpool. We're not doing a Thursday night job. We're not going around, some of the lesser names of European football. We're coming in at the very, very, very top. And it's going to be... interesting to see how Eddie Howe approaches it, because obviously he's got to balance domestic issues along with the European competition and commitments. We still need to be picking up victories in the Premier League, and there is talk about rotation and trying to keep players and people just as fit as is possible. So I think the fact that we only made one substitute last time out in the victory over Brentford was quite telling, to be honest. Because again, keeps players back fit, so I expect to see the likes of Isak involved maybe from the start. Miguel Miran, he did come on, he was the one change, but I expect to see him in for his work rate, his tracking back. Eddie Howe, is a keen admirer of Miggy's work rate and stuff. And Tonali, it's literally the game. It's roared from. Imagine he sticks one in. Imagine the scenes. It's just, and football does these sort of things all of the time. So Tonali surely's got to come back in. And then it's a case of just resting certain players. Do the likes of Livramento come into it? Is Hall finally given some time? Does Target come back in and refresh things up at left back? All these sort of things. I personally think the likes of Dan Burn and stuff certainly didn't do themselves any harm. Sean Longstaff didn't do himself any harm last time out against Brentford, I thought. Especially as the match progressed on. And as we went through the gears and through the motions and into the second half, that they were absolutely two Geordie rocks in this Newcastle United team. Has Elliot Anderson done enough to keep hold of his shirt? Obviously, no Joe Linton now for what, possibly the next 5 games, with 1 game down, another 5 to go without Big Joe. That's unfortunate. That's a loss because of his physicality and that enforcer role that he plays in the middle. But I still think we've got a lot of players. Yes, they've got a lot of players who can hurt us, but we've got a lot of players who can hurt them. And it's a case of getting the plan, getting the game management to be able to make sure that we get plenty of minutes with the ball, plenty of possession of the ball, and we're able to play our game and to dictate our style of play on to the Italians in their own backyard. I am confident. I think it could be another 2-2. I'm going to go another 2-2, and that will be absolutely fantastic. A great way to start the group. And it's a group that, you know, I still think there's every chance of us being able to get out of. If we can't, then we must target at least getting in to the Europa League and trying to get that third qualification space in there. But we're playing without pressure, aren't we? Nobody expects us. All the media, all the other fans of all the other clubs expect absolutely fuck all from Newcastle United. So we literally have a free shot and a free hit at it, to me. But yeah, Eddie Howe will have been all over this like a fly around shit. He'll be ready. He'll have watched them. He will be every slight weakness that they have got, we will look to exploit. And team news, it's difficult. I mean, I got a few right, didn't I, against Brentford? I said that there would be changes and what there was 5 in total. I don't see the defence really getting changed around too much. I think you need Trippier's leadership in there. I think Botman and Shea pick themselves. I think Shea looks a million times better next to Botman than he does anybody else. So that makes sense. I think if there is going to be a change, it might come at left back. And you might move Trippier over to the left back position and bring Livramento in at the right hand side of the defence. Apart from that, I can't see much else really changing in that. In the engine room, this is the difficult one because you've got Bruno, you've got Tonali, and it's the old question marks about can both of them coexist? Can they work together? Can the double pivot work? I thought Bruno was better when he was pushed further forward in the game against Brentford, so I'd like to see that continue. Sean Longstaff, I thought, grew into the game, and he's a player who'll need a few games to get up to his maximum powers and capabilities and stuff, but I thought he was very, very good against Brentford, so he's going to be in there as well. So it's who do you leave out? And I think Elliot Anderson, he might just be the the unlucky one again, because I thought he was decent. He had 1 or 2 little showings and spells and flicks and tricks in the second half that were decent. First half, I didn't think he was particularly playing to his best, but he's got to play Tonali, hasn't he? So I think it'll be Tonali, Bruno, and Sean Longstaff playing in the 3 in the middle. And then who do you play up top? I think Isak was rested for this game in mind, so I think Isak's going to play up top. And then it's who do you do either side. Now, Joe Willock with Isak looks absolutely fantastic. He's not going to be available, is he, though, for this game? Still injured, been injured since May. But you need somebody who's got the pace to be able to keep up with him and to really lay those chances on and to play the balls through. So I'm going to go Anthony Gordon. One side has been fantastic. Yes, he was in a crumpled heap at the end of the match. Absolutely exhausted. He'd give every ounce of blood, sweat and tears, at the end of the game. But I think he'll be ready for this game. He'll be looking forward to this game. So I imagine Anthony Gordon will be one side. And, you could play Elliot Anderson on the left-hand side. That is one way to get round things. But it's then who's in reserve on the bench for the central midfield areas, because I don't think all 3 of those players that we've got will last the game out. So I think Elliot Anderson will be on the bench. And on the other side, Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes continuing it on. Again, you could play Jacob Murphy. I know. If I'd have said this a couple of years ago, I'd have been locked up talking about Jacob Murphy in the Champions League away to AC Milan. But you could play Jacob Murphy on the right, and then you could have Anthony Gordon back onto the left-hand side. That is a definite possibility. But with the money that we've spent, I thought Harvey Barnes, again, he grew into the game, didn't he? I know he's had an eventful sort of 48 hours with the birth of young baby Harper, but I would expect to see Harvey Barnes one side. We paid a lot of money for him. He's a quality player. If we get a couple of chances, he's very capable of putting a good cross in. He's very capable of scoring a goal himself. So from that side of it, I think you'll play Harvey Barnes one side, Anthony Gordon back on the right again, and then Isak up top, and then obviously Callum Wilson can count himself unlucky to be back on the bench, but I think he'll get a start back at Sheffield United at the weekend. And I think that is how it is going to go for the rest, for the next couple of weeks, when it is literally coming every couple of, days. We've got a different game, Sheffield United, then Manchester City, and so on and so forth. So it's exciting times. Cannot wait for the game. Let me know what you think down below about the team. Who would you start? Who's Eddie going to go with? Knowing that the way he likes to operate, he doesn't like to make too many changes, but he does have to keep freshening things up in key areas. We can't afford injuries to the like of a striker when we've only got bloody two of them, you know what I mean? Well, we've got another one, haven't we? But he's scoring world. He's in Holland at the moment for Garant Kwal. If you haven't seen it, check it out on the socials. Absolutely cracking goal. Really, really was. Exciting player for the future for Newcastle United. But yeah, let me know what you're looking forward to the game, where you're watching the game from. What's the score going to be? I've gone 2-2. Quite conservative, quite reasonable, I feel. They're on the back of an absolute tonking. We got a much-needed morale-boosting victory over Brentford. Yes, it wasn't champagne, it wasn't free-flowing football, sexy football, or whatever else you want to call it, but fuck me, it was effective. And if the referee had 2 eyes and an actual, intellectual capacity above 1 brain cell, then we probably would have won that game 2 or 3-0, possibly. So that's a different gripe and a different video for a different day. Hopefully we do get a decent referee, somebody who is competent and is capable of making sensible decisions and not being quite as biased as a certain person has been. Yes, what a twat. But yes, going 2-2. Let me know down below in the comments, and whilst I'm on, please do subscribe to Magpie 24/7. We are close to that next target, that 2k target on the YouTube side, so please do. 131,000 people in total following Magpie 24/7. We are trying to push the YouTube channel to get it over that next target. We have been for the past couple of weeks. We're slowly but surely getting there, so your support is appreciated. And whilst you there, hit the like button and hit the bell icon as well to never miss a video from ourselves at Magpie 24/7. Carl will be back after the game, either tomorrow night or into Wednesday morning, with the review of the game, and then we'll be back again pretty quickly afterwards with a preview for the game down in South Yorkshire as Newcastle United go down to Bramall Lane to take on Sheffield United. Who will be managing them? No fucking idea. Could be Tom, Dick or Harry, to be honest. All sorts of crazy batshit going off at Sheffield United at the moment. But yeah, we'll leave that for later in the week, and there might be some changes. You never know. It might be Chris Wilder. It could be the current manager. Chuff knows. It could be any fucker, couldn't it? Let's face it. The wonderful world of football. It never stops. The stories never stop. But yeah, take care. Keep it tuned. However, lads, bring on Milan.
Toon!